Hey guys, sorry I'm not here again today, but you're going to be talking about solving equations with radicals. So get out your math encyclopedia and I want you to write at the top, solving equations with radicals. Alright, so we've got a couple steps that I want you to write. So here are our steps. Pretty easy, but step one is isolate the radical. So you want everything under the square root to be by itself. So if it has plus 4 at the end, you're going to subtract 4 to get the radical by itself. If it has a divide by 3, you're going to multiply by 3 to get the radical by itself. And step 2 is square both sides. Remember, the way that you can cancel out a square root is if you square it. So the square root of x times the square root of x is going to equal x. The square root of 5 times the square root of 5 is going to equal 5. The square root of 192 times the square root of 192 is, good, 192. Alright, so hopefully you have those steps down. And we're going to do some examples. So here's example number 1. Oops. Example 1. The square root of x plus 3 equals 10. So right off the bat I see that it is not, or the radical is not isolated. So we need to get rid of this positive 3. And the way to get rid of a positive 3 is our inverse operation. So what's the inverse of plus 3? Good, I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. And I get that the square root of x equals 7. So now I need to get x by itself, and right now it's under a square root. And the way that I cancel out a square root is to square it. So I'm going to take the square of both sides, and the square root of x, and you can just think about this on the side. The square root of x times the square root of x equals x. So that means x equals 49. Good job. Alright, let's do another example because of course they don't stay that basic. Example number 2. So this is the square root of x minus 5 equals 4. So right off the bat, I do have an isolated radical. There's nothing being added or subtracted or multiplied to it. So we are just going to go straight to squaring it. And I get that x minus 5 equals 16. So then, how do I get x by itself? Good, my inverse operation is to add 5, and I get x equals 21. Good, great. Alright, let's do a little bit more difficult. Example number 3 is I have the square root of 2x minus 1 plus 4 equals 7. Okay. How do I get the radical by itself? Good, I'm going to subtract 4 on both sides. And I get the square root of 2x plus 1 equals 3. Now, what do I do to cancel out my radical? Good, you're going to square it. And you get 2x plus 1 equals 9. Now that's just a simple two-step equation, and you should know how to take care of that. Go through, subtract 1. Oh, I wrote this problem wrong, didn't I? minus 1. So I'm adding 1. And I get 2x equals 10. Divide by 2 and divide by 2. And I get x equals 5. Good job, guys. Okay, we only have one more example, and then you should be good to go. Let me erase this. And the last example, example number 4, geez, I do that every time, is 3 root x equals 21. What's happening to the root x right now? If you said multiplied by 3, you're awesome. So the opposite of multiplying by 3 is? Good, you're going to divide both sides by 3. And you get root x equals 7, and then that's just easy to square both sides. And you get x equals 49. Good. Now the last thing I want to talk to you about, because you might see it in your homework tonight, is if I ended up with variables on both sides. So like if I had the square root of x plus 4 equals 2 times the square root of x minus 6. The first thing I need to do is get all these x's on one side. So I'm going to subtract root x. And this is just combining like terms. I get 4 equals, what's 2 root x's minus 1 root x is 1 root x minus 6. Okay? Now, if you ended up with something like root 2 equals root 4, you know that that's never ever going to work, and your answer would be no solution. Okay? Good luck, guys. The rest of class is going to be work time, and if you were not able to follow this because it went too fast, just ask to the substitute if she would replay it for you. I hope you have a great weekend. Tomorrow I will not be here, and you will get a Chapter 11 study guide, which is all over radicals. Although we're not going to have a Chapter 11 test next week, you will have radicals on your final, so it's really important that you review those topics. Okay, I hope you have a great weekend. Don't miss me too much. I'll be having fun at the lake. Talk to you soon. Bye.